Like and subscribe. Niger should put that puppet president on trial right now and blast it throughout Africa. They should make sure that that trial is on every TV station in Africa. And then, see, the truth is better than propaganda. The truth is better than propaganda because the truth is backed up with facts, whereas propaganda is backed up with fiction and nonsense. And every African citizen in Africa will be able to identify with what Niger has been going through under this puppet president. And the sanctions, the sanctions by the West, so what? You were struggling anyway. You were dependent upon goods and services that did you no good. That did you no good and made you and actually made Africa poor. They made Africa poor. And that's why Africa needs bricks. They need bricks. Because the same thing that's happening to the black people in Africa is happening to the black people in America. You always hear about these corporate initiatives, these corporate what these corporations are going to do for black people in the United States. And all it is a commercial. And at the end of the day, it's been nothing but a commercial. A lot is said, nothing is done. Government programs, a lot is said, nothing is done. It's just this beat up record. It's just a beat up record. And they keep recycling this. They just keep recycling this garbage. If all these initiatives by these corporations worked, there wouldn't be a black person poor, disadvantaged in the country. But see, the problem is not all these corporate initiatives, they're not supposed to work. If they do anything, they take from the minds of young black people, young intelligent black people, steal their ideas is the most it could possibly be doing. Because the problem we have in the United States is justice. Equality of justice is the problem. We don't need initiatives. We need equality of justice. We need an end to systemic racism. That's the problem we have. Get rid of systemic racism, and the door is open, and we can get it ourselves. I live in a black neighborhood in Ohio, and the Republican government, they passed a bill to where you don't have to work in a city, you don't have to live in a city to work in that city, which means that a city can be 80% black, and your police department can be all Caucasian. Your city service department, all Caucasian. Your fire department, all Caucasian. And what do you have in city council and as mayor? Puppets. You have puppets doing the bidding of their masters. That's what we have in the United States. We have puppets. We have puppet. Every community has puppet. Most black communities have puppet black mayors, puppet, uh, puppet, whatever you call them, just puppets throughout the place. And then you'll have a white police chief. But nowadays, it seems like major cities, you got a black mayor, a black female police chief, and they don't do anything to help black people. They're just like Obama. They don't do anything to help black people. They're just puppets. And every time you hear about it, and the most shocking thing, when the Rodney King thing came out, you would see all these police murdering black people, and then you would always see a white mayor, a white police chief. So we could always say that's racist, that's racist, that's racist. And we knew they were racist. But now they put the puppets up there. So now every time you see a black person get shot in the back or anything like that, you see a black mayor and you always see a black police chief. And they don't do anything without the permission of their puppet masters. Just like when the young man was beat up, 5 or 6 in Tennessee, 6 police, the 5 black police fired, brought up on charges that night. The white police who tased him and was saying shoot him, kill him, they didn't. I still don't know I still don't know what charges they have on him. It was days went by before they even charged him, which is proof that these black mayors, black police chiefs, they're all puppets. They're all puppets. And the Tyree Nichols case proves it. I mean, we all seen it, and it proves it. You look at the black mayor of New York, puppet, allocating what, millions, if not billions, to who? Immigrants, and nothing to the black Americans who lived there, some of whom fought in the military for this country. Get nothing. Get nothing. And I'm gonna throw something in here just to for you to think about. The only reason why charges are being brought up on Trump now is because the United States is in a proxy war with Russia. And Trump and Putin were like this. Trump and Putin got along well, very well. And I'll be perfect too. And Putin dropped $23 billion worth of debt that Africa owed them. He wiped it out the books, $23 billion. He's also providing Africa with military weaponry. He's already done that. Now, if you put Trump in office, Trump's not going to go against Putin. He's not going to go against Putin. In fact, the fact that Putin dropped $23 billion of debt, got wiped it off the books, tells me that it is more likely that Trump would pay reparations than Biden would, because he's going to follow in the footsteps of Putin. That's my opinion. He's going to follow in the footsteps of Putin. And if Putin can do it, he wants to show off and prove that he can do it as well. So, as far as president is concerned, I'm not voting for. I'm voting for issues, but as far as Biden and Trump, It don't make no difference. It don't make no difference whether a Republican is president or a Democrat is president. Because if a Republican is president, you're going to get overt racism. You're going to get overt racism, in your face racism. And you're going to get more stealing money from the government. Republicans are good at stealing money from the government, taking it really. If a Democrat is elected president, you're going to get covert racism. Covert racism. They give you the kind of racism that they create a problem Then they give you a solution to the problem, which was never the problem in the first place. The problem, as I stated, is systemic racism and unfair justice. But see, Democrats are never going to give you an even playing field. And when they do give you something, be careful of what you get, because it's going to hurt you in the long run. Anything the Democrats give you, trust me, is going to hurt you in the long run. And if it doesn't hurt you in the long run, it's going to benefit other minorities. Because see, they've been playing this game since the 1970s. And you talking about over 50 years of this. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. All these corporate initiatives that's going to help black people, those are nothing but commercials. They're just selling a product, and when you go to buy the product, it don't look nothing like what they said it was. It's like looking at a pretty picture of a McDonald's hamburger, then going to McDonald's, and the cheese is off to the side. The bread is hard. Hey, you all don't need me to tell you this. You know this, but you've probably been afraid to say it. But now's the time. Might as well go, hey, the internet's put everything out there. Let's put it all out there. And a lot of people that debate with me, I ask them, what news do they follow? Now, if you watching Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, if you watching new American news, you watching propaganda. You watching the same BS that put Trump in a position to become president. And what put him in the position really was the TV show. Because they played him in that TV show, they played him up to be this great financial business wizard. They didn't mention the fact that this cat's been bankrupt so many times, it's ridiculous. And he has left so many small Caucasian businesses in the red. Some have even lost their businesses because he filed bankruptcy and didn't pay them. And now they're barely surviving, and some have just went out of business. And business owners, they had to get a job because of Donald Trump. But they set them up with that TV show. That's why I don't even watch. I don't watch no white people on TV whatsoever, especially those Marvel movies and those things like that, because that's the exact opposite of what Caucasians are in this city. You talking about you talking about Superman fighting for justice and all this stuff. Okay, go through Vicker, Texas, or whatever the name of it is. Sundown City. Go through a sundown city. And so don't even give me this stuff about watching this Elliot Ness movie, blah, 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 blah. The FBI know about sundown cities. Have they shut any of them down? No. So, hey, you see, it's hard to stick on one point when you start talking about racism in America, because it's so much of it. There's so many lies, so much deception. Once you get started talking about it, it's like a tree. You go up, it's like a tree. You go up the trunk, and then all of a sudden, it just branches out all over the place. It just branches out everywhere, in churches, in community centers, on radio, TV, records, underneath everything in the United States of America is racism. Underneath all the, and a lot of these so-called, and we all know a lot of these so-called charitable things they be doing, charity isn't going to the people. I used to give to charity. It was supposed to be going to these people overseas, and then somebody hit me to the fact that 80% of the money was going to administrative costs. Then I found out, what is the Salvation Army? I think it's privately owned. So So am I giving clothes to a group of people, to a private person who's going to sell them? And now the price of them clothes in the Salvation Army is high. You might as well go to another thrift store. You might get, and probably get a better price. Now my question is it privately owned? From what I've heard, it is. And then you got a lot of these corporations. They start these money's going to what? And what about Red Cross and all these people with these corporate jets? I mean, good grief! Like I said, when you start talking about racism in the United States, you go up that tree trunk and then the branches, and then it's just so full of leaves. It's ridiculous. And the leaves are like you can think about the leaves as regular American people that will betray and lie to each other for greed. Everybody wants to be a billionaire. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. There should be a cap on personal wealth. Nobody in the country should be worth more than $5 million. $5 million can take you anywhere you want to go, do anything you want to do, put your kids in the best schools and everything and all that crap. And the simple fact of the matter is, education should be free all the way through college. And hospitalization should be free the rest of your life. That's only common sense. And and the most valuable thing we need in the world, the second most valuable thing we need in the world is water. And it makes no sense that water costs as much as a bottle of pop, and sometimes more. I mean, like I said, we could start talking. This country, this country is horrible. This country is absolutely horrible. That's all I can say about it. Like and subscribe if they don't block me for telling the truth. Talk to you later.